Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you very much for joining me again today for a card making tutorial, and today we're making a variation on this card using the lovely You stamp set. So this is a favourite of mine from the annual catalogue. I haven't used it for a bit, so I thought it was time to pull that back out. So it's a cling stamp. Really pretty. I like all the sentiments. I like the mixed fonts and things like that. So a really pretty set. Colourways are smoky slate. There was S's in there somewhere. Smoky slate and melon mambo are the colours in the background, and then we've got soft sea foam, pear pizzazz and mossy meadow for that. So we're going to switch out the melon mambo and the smoky slate, and we're going to go a little richer with our colours and go for basic grey with mango melody. So that's our combo. So the card base is cut and scored in the usual way at 4 1/8 and scored at 5 7/8 of an inch. So I'll work in inches. And then the layers then, so this is basically my mini mats plus a mat. So this is 3 by 4 3/4. The Mango Melody layer is 3 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so we're getting that nice skinny border. And then this one is 1/8 of an inch bigger again, which is 3 1/4 by 5. We get this lovely stacked layer, and what that does, in my opinion, is just lifts that colour away from that cardstock background and just makes it gives it that extra little bit of pop. Okay, so those bottom two layers we can save until we need them. So background for our card, I'm going to be doing a little bit of ink blending over the top of this using one of the decorative masks that's in the mini catalogue at the moment. I think they're called the Adorned masks, I think. So I've already sort of just taped a hinge at the top there, and I'm going to put my cardstock inside there. What I'm trying to do is get it sort of central. Nothing worse than having just that little bit that's peeking out on the side. It just sort of it's quite distracting on the design if you have that. So I'm just going to shuffle that along. This is just me being fussy, to be honest with you. So once you've got it into the position that you want, you can start applying your ink over the top. So I'm using my nice soft sea foam there, really lovely, a pale green, absolutely love it, and a blending brush or an ink dauber or something like that, something that you can apply the ink over the top. And I'm going to sort of aim in the middle and work my way out in a circle. And the aim is not really to cover the back, it's just to give a little bit of interest into the centre there, and as you go out it's going to go a little, it's going to fade out basically. Okay, and that's all we're going to do, round and round in a circle like that with that pale ink. And when we lift that out and away, we get this lovely faded out sort of background. Okay, it's going to bring in another scrap of paper, just because we're going to be doing some stamping off and stuff. Okay, so there are 2 foliage stamps which I really like in this set. So there's this one, and then we've got the sort of 3 leaves, if you like. So I'm going to use this one to sort of build up a bit of a base on top of here, and then put some extra detail in there. So I'm going to go the middle tone with this, which is pear pizzazz in this particular instance. And I'm just going to sort of almost visualise to myself that we're going to be putting a strip across here. So I'm going to kind of have all the stalks sort of emanate from somewhere around there. So complete guesswork and eyeballing. If you are new to card making and you're not really sure how this would work, then by all means, you know, just give yourself some kind of mark or something like that, which will give you something that you can aim at. So I'm just sort of having all the stalks sort of head into that general direction there. And we're going to use our rule of 3 to pop those into place there with just some nice firm pressure in there. And then we're going to swap to Mossy Meadow for our other set of leaves. Now I've just said rule of 3. What I really mean is it's odd numbers. Okay, so this one we're probably going to do 5 of these, and we're going to sort of, again, we're aiming towards this sort of central point, and I know this is the stalk on the stamp, so just bear that in mind when you've got your cling stamps. There are labels you can put on the back of your cling stamps. I'm lazy and I don't put them on. Okay, so there's 2, then we'll have 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there we go. So that looks a bit kind of weird, but once you have your banner over the top, you aren't going to notice all that funny stuff in the middle. Okay, all right, so that's what we've done there. So that's got to dry. Just while that is drying, I'm going to take this strip of cardstock. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide, but it's not exactly. So just a strip that's going to be the right, or of a sufficient width, shall we say, for your sentiments, that whichever one you've picked. Some of them are taller than others. I've got this lined up on my block, so I've lined up my strip of paper, and I'm making sure my block's straight with the grid paper too, and we're going to stamp that into place, and that should end up nice and straight. This we're going to cut with one of our decorative punches, so I'm just going to trim that down about there. Doesn't matter if it's not straight, we're going to punch it. Now when Lovely You came out, it came with the Lovely Labels picker punch, but since then we've released, Stampin' Up have released 2 others. This is actually the Treasured Tags triple punch, so we're just going to put that into the back there and snip off the end, and you get this lovely decorative end. This essentially is 6 punches in one, because you can punch different widths to get a different design on your banners. Okay, so it will accommodate 1 inch, 3/4 and 1/2 inch strips, and depending on which width you go for, you'll get a slightly different pattern. Sorry, I'm trying to get it so it doesn't glare at you, but if you'll get the full pattern, so the curve, the corner and the rounded edge with a full strip, and then you get these different shapes as you go narrower along the in the punch. Okay, this is going to go on with dimensionals, so we'll just put a couple of those on the back ready to go, and then this guy we can layer up with our Mango Melody and white layers, so we'll just bring in some Stampin' Seal for that. Nice and quick and easy. layering and dimensionals are a fast, easy way to add interest to your cards and make them look extra special without doing anything super fancy. Okay, there's a tip for you. Which way up did that go? Was it that way up? Yep, because the other one, believe it or not, was upside down. So I didn't actually design it to be that way. Running a couple of pieces of tape on the back there because we're going to add some of this wonderful seam binding ribbon, and I want a piece of tape as well to secure that. Whew, it is blowing a gale outside here, so I don't know whether that's picking up that noise from outside, but it is absolutely puffing and blowing out there. It has stopped raining for the time being. It absolutely threw it down all night. I'm going to wrap this round twice. And I hear that there's been some localised flooding, so I hope no one watching has been affected too badly by that. It's like we hadn't had any rain for ages, and it all seems to come at once. Okay, so that's our panel with our ribbon on, and we can now secure this to our card base with plenty of seal. So obviously that ugly tape isn't going to, I say ugly, it's a very pretty washi tape, but it's not something that you necessarily want on your card front. Which way up? That way up. I almost did it again. I can't believe it. Right, that way up. And we'll secure that onto the front. Ooh, let's get it straight, shall we? Yeah, so like I say, it hasn't rained for blooming ages, and this last week we seem to have had it all in one go. Right, I'm going to cut 2 more lengths of this ribbon. That's the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and as it's white, this colours up really well as well. So you can run either dye ink or alcohol ink, so use a Stampin' Blend or whatever you've got to apply ink. If you're using a water-based ink, it'll take a bit longer to dry, so just bear that in mind. You might want to do it before you start your project. Just using the poker tool there to thread that through, and we're just going to tie it. It's very thin, so actually a single knot is perfectly sufficient to secure this. So we're just going to wrap it around once and just tie that nice and tight. It's so fine and delicate. Then I'm just going to push this one under so that it's all flopping down. It doesn't sort of hold up on its own and sort of wants to droop down, so instead of having that kind of look, I decided just to twist it round so it was heading in that direction anyway, and let it sort of sort itself out and see how it's going to sit. And then these two just need a bit of a haircut, don't they, because they're a little bit long. It's just draping over the side of the over the edge of the card a little bit, so we'll just lop those off, give them a bit of a haircut, and that's our sort of tassely thing that we've got going on there. Cute. And then all we need to do is add our sentiment over the top. Haven't added any extra embellishments, and of course you could if you wanted to. So we're going to tuck this in. So this is shorter than my original, but that's fine. Just trying to make sure that that is straight. Just looking at that shape on that punch. Just make sure it's lying across that ribbon, all nice and pretty. So I do like things to interject the layers, but you know, it is what it is. In fact, you can see the difference now, can't you? So that's our Mango Melody version. I'm not convinced that layers on straight, but there you go. And this is our, I have to say, I do love Melon Mambo. It's one of my favourite colours in the world. I do love it. Melon Mambo, Blackberry Bliss and Bermuda Bay. They're my faves. Okay, so totally different look. Okay, but using the same products to achieve those. I say I quite like this nice long strip interjecting there, but you know, each to their own. I hope you've enjoyed that. Let's move that out of your way, shall we? I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial and you'll give it a go. Links are all in the description if you fancy having a closer look at anything. And yeah, take care. See you soon. Stay safe. Take care. And bye bye for now.